little bit to politics again.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, but in politics, was there ever anything that you did that you felt like people may not know the extent of this sacrifice I had to do to get this done, but I did it, you know? I may never be celebrated for this, but I mean,
probably
I
and why?
yeah, and
why did you do it?
You know.
You guys now want me to give you a whole story from the book, yeah?
Oh, there's a story from the book.
There's a story about some things I did.
So if you're watching this, the people on this side of the table haven't read the book.
Yeah.
Right? Because the book is coming out, right?
Yeah.
And so this is before the book comes out.
Yeah.
All right, so just give us something.
Okay. So, I'll give you an experience I had with the House of Assembly, which is the legislative arm of the state, you know.
Okay.
So at some point there was a trumped up charge, you know, alleging that, or alleged, sorry, that there was missing funds in the state, and somebody wrote a petition, a fictitious petition not signed, you know, and suddenly it was in the House of Assembly and they said they were going to launch an investigation and all that. So at the end of the day, the whole due process to launch investigations were not even followed. It was actually, we in the political game will understand that it was a witch hunt because somebody wanted to get the governor out of office, right? And I was not just an appointee in the administration, I was also a son to the governor. So I had two interests to defend: the state, the administration on one hand, and then family values on the other hand. And so, because people wonder why did you file a case against state government, against the House of Assembly in court? Those are the reasons why I filed the case. And I went to court and I said, look, stop the House of Assembly from carrying out this investigation. The reason, because they are doing it the wrong way. The Constitution set up, laid down procedures, you know, and their house rules, simply because the people the drafters of the Constitution envisaged that if I just hit somebody, I'll just keep piling petitions and every day is investigation. When will the government focus and work? So those processes were put in so that by the time you go through it, then you can verify that yes, a crime was committed, so that it can be investigated. But then it was just going to be a political drama that the news will carry. You have what they call media trials and all that kind of stuff. And I felt, no, this shouldn't happen, you know, because at the end of the day, there's family name at stake, you know, and then there's even the state and the administration at stake. So it wasn't about like, oh, want to protect the administration. I mean, want to defend, protect corruption or hide corruption and all that kind of stuff. No, which is what the media then carried. Like I said, it was supposed to be a media trial, and so all machinery was set in place. The moment petition comes in, media will carry it. Oh, money has been stolen, and then the whole thing will start. And so the whole drama started. I went to court to stop the House of Assembly for investigating, except they followed due process. Because I had seen the petition and I knew that it wouldn't go anywhere, basically. So we went to the court, and while that was going on, it became embarrassing to the government. You know, that is both the executive and the legislative arm, because we're now in the news, both of us, for the wrong reasons, you know. It wasn't for progress, it was about scandal and drama. So at the end of the day, we eventually had to kind of like meet and discuss and, of course, resolve it politically. And so I had to, so part of the agreement of the political resolve was for me to go to the court and withdraw the case. And then the House of Assembly drops the investigation. You know, because it wasn't going to look good at the end of the day, and so we had to take that. So many people thought it was about, we'll be saying it, they are stealing money, he wants to hide it, he has to go and get the court to stop it. You know, but that wasn't the reason. I also knew that the tenure was going to end, and anybody who wanted to investigate, the records are still there to be investigated. But do it the proper way, you know. I knew that it wasn't going to amount to anything, you know. It still hasn't amounted to anything. But then it was about the fact that politicians will always play these games, you know. We just play games that just to kind of like create a what would I say, an illusion, which while the public is like covered by the smoke screen, other things are going on behind the screen. You know, the public is talking about the drama and something else is going on.
I
So
don't
it's more
think
like a distraction.
I don't think all of this can be captured in one book. Are you thinking of a sequel already?
I haven't thought of that yet, but then let's deal with what's in front of us.
Let's release this one first.
Alright, so final thing on politics.
Yeah.
Are you interested in politics? Are you going to run for office? Are you going to run for office?
Quite honestly, I've not given it a thought.
Yeah.
You know, am I interested in politics? Yes.
Yeah.
You know, for the same reasons I gave you earlier. I'm interested in people development. If right now what I do is in politics, that if I see people who I believe have potential, who have that passion, I support them to get to the office, and I keep advising them as much as I can on how to, succeed.
Yeah.
You know, because for me, it's like all the fingers have to work together to bake the pie.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it doesn't have to be me.
Yeah.
Somebody else who can do it, I'll support the person to do it.
Yeah.
So I've not seen a reason to go in to contest myself yet.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but for now, I haven't seen a reason yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, great.
What message would you have for the future leaders of tomorrow? I mean, they keep saying the youth are the leaders of tomorrow, but the youth will now say the elders don't want to talk to us. How do you think the youth can really get involved in politics? You know, because reading your book, we see like a deliberate step or actions you took to actually get involved to try to change the narrative.
Yeah.
So what lessons or what do you think? What are your thoughts?
So that's what I think, right? It's you first have to desire something. You have to want something to have it. Life doesn't give you things. It doesn't hand things to you.
Yeah.
You have to desire it. So, do the young people in Nigeria want this? If they do, then the first thing is to start working towards it.
Yeah.
Get involved in the process. Not just on Facebook, on TikTok, social media.
That's
generally.
what it's about.
Yeah, you know, get involved. Go join a political party.
Yeah.
Form your own block within a political party. Because you see how political parties work is blocks that come together to form a party.
Yeah. What does that mean?
So a block is this. For lack of a better, I'll say power block. So if all of us seated on this table now are, say, leaders of student unions, and we say we want to join a political party, we're coming as the student bloc to say that this is what we want. We're going to work for the success of this party, and at the end of the day, this is what we want when the party succeeds.
Yeah.
If you don't give it to us, we'll pull out our strength and take it somewhere else. You know?
Okay.
So that way, every block that comes in is a negotiation in a political party.
Yeah.
You decide what your block wants, you know? And so you all agree and work together to the success towards the success of the party.
Yeah.
And then from there, you now move on to if you're successful, then everybody they try to keep to the agreement of what everybody is supposed to get out of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Just to add to what he said, because we are still talking about like the solutions and how can it be better as regards young people being part of politics. I realized that a lot of mindsets that we have, they've been institutionalized right from time. So starting with the younger generation, those from 0 to 3, 4, Pamela, you're head of school, you run the school and all that. There should be this emphasis on the society itself, your nation. What is the electoral process? At 18, you should have it's a must in the West. It's a must. You have to have your voters card at 18. We are not armed with all of that. It's not something that is a part of us that a child, or rather a teenager looks out for. They're just waiting for that.
I think what's important is we need to take the history in schools more seriously
too.
Because it's where we can understand the things that have happened. That tells us more about where we are, and then it leads us to how we'll get to the place that we want to get to. So that's one thing that's overlooked. I'm sure in most timetables you see that. Did you even do history in school?
No,
I didn't do history in school, but they recently introduced it. But most times it will just be a period or so. I think it needs to be more pushed out there. Let's understand who we are, where our forefathers came from, and where we want to get to as people.
And I think I agree with you a lot. I have this nephew who attends an American school, and he can tell you the battles of, in fact, he can tell you about the history of the United States, the battle of where in America, the one that was with the Mexicans and so on, and all that, he knows all that history.
Yeah.
But he once asked his mom, is Abuja in Nigeria? Like, seriously.
Wow.
Yeah.
Seriously, he actually asked her that once. So you can imagine how deficient we are in this history thing you're talking about, and civic education and I mean, how many grown-up people even know their rights within the Constitution?
True.
How many people have ever read the Constitution? It should be part of history or civic duty, civic education exactly in school, so that people can learn and understand their fundamental rights. And the more people know their rights, it's more difficult to violate their rights. That's why the average American, he knows his Fifth Amendment off by heart. He knows his Second Amendment by heart. Because they know it. They're taught in schools, and so the moment, even when the police stops you to check you, you can tell him your rights, and he will acknowledge it. But here, just just like that. Knowledge is power. It truly is. So at the end of the day, this is what I think, this education part, you said something earlier on, the 0 to 3 and all that, how do you start like getting people involved? I think especially some of us who are young parents, I mean, if you're listening, you're a young parent, parenting is one of the key.
Very true.
You have to start parenting children properly, making them understand properly what is right, what is wrong, what is acceptable, what their rights are. If in European school systems, at the early age of 5, a child understands that what abuse of his rights are. He can actually pick up the phone and call 911 to call the police if the parent abuses him. So they understand it at that young age. Why can't you start teaching our children? They tell children in such Western societies, if anybody touches your body parts inappropriately, and this is how inappropriate touch is, this is appropriate touch. So if this is done like this, report it. So you see young kids, they understand so much, because they are being taught. So parenting is very key, because society doesn't just evolve. The smallest unit of society is the family. Yes. So once we start building from that point, then we will now be able to kind of like grow things and evolve. And by the time we come to the larger society, it's easier to integrate people into the thinking, through the school system and all that. So I think that's a very key part that is neglected. And just to follow up on that, like I mentioned in the book, nobody is going to hand over power to you because you're a youth. Youth is no condition or ticket for you to be given leadership or power. You have to want it. You have to stand up and demand for it, and go through the whole process of earning it. Exactly. And that's the reality of it. And the time is not tomorrow. The time is now. The time is yesterday.
Back to happy thoughts now. Let's talk about family. Let's talk about your love life. Let's talk about kids. Let's talk about let's talk about that. So I met your wife before. How did you land a woman like that?
I'm still asking myself. I don't know. Like that's the only part of my life I think luck worked.
Alright, so you said you don't believe in luck.
That was a miracle. Actually, it's like parting the Red Sea for me. Like that's what literally happened. So I'll just digress a bit with this joke, right? Of a kid who was taken to Sunday school, and then the mom picked him up and asked him, "Hey, so what they teach you in Sunday school?" And he goes like, well, they told us the Israelites were chased by the Egyptians, and they got to the Red Sea, and suddenly they gathered some wood, built a bridge, ran across. Then when the Egyptians got on the bridge, they set it on fire, burnt it, and they all died.
Wow.
Then the mom packed the car and said, like, really? Is that what they taught you in school? And he said, well, mom, if I told you what they actually taught me, you wouldn't believe me either. So I mean, to him, it's more logical that they built a bridge and burnt it and killed people than they just taught the water and it opened. So really, that's it. So what was I trying to emphasize? I can't remember anymore.
Okay,
the wife,
so the wife.
So
she's a miracle.
Yeah, it was a miracle. Honestly, it was a kind of hookup thing, but not really a hookup thing because someone.
Wait, hookup means something else.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know your generation. I mean, okay, it was an introduction kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
introduction kind of thing because
Yeah.
someone had wanted me to meet her for a long time, and a friend's older sister,
Yeah.
who they happened to work in the same hospital together,
Yeah.
and was like, look, come, you should see this doc and everything. Your friend, who was her younger brother, is already married. You don't want to get married, And
Yeah.
I said, leave me, I'm enjoying my bachelorhood, I'm not ready to settle down yet, Yeah, I'm not complaining exactly, So eventually, one day she just calls me up on the phone, and then I said, talk to somebody, and she gave my wife the phone. My wife was like, hello. So there was this confusion, there was this seconds of delay. Nobody knew what to say. And of course, I just went on, hey, so how are you? And every time we chatted, and I kind of liked the voice. The voice was like sweet, Yeah, it was like music to my ears,
Yeah.
So I kind of like got interested, and I was like, okay, so I'll get a number from this person and all that. And she was like, okay, and everything. And eventually, I did get the number.
Yeah.
I did call after some attempts. She invited me over to meet her at work. Went there, and eventually, we it wasn't that easy, but we eventually clicked because she gave me the boot. She told me get out of here. No, actually, she asked me a question that no one has ever asked me before.
What was it?
She said, so, what do you want from me?
Yikes.
Nobody had, prior to that, ever asked me that kind of question. That, what
was
do you want
always
from
So
me?
assumed.
direct, like
That kind of, you
Yeah,
assume
assume,
things,
yeah.
and everything.
Eh.
And I now reeled out a manifesto, I just reeled out a manifesto, and then she said, okay, And then I thought I was that good. I should have told her, well, you see, I'm not really interested in this right now, and so beat it, and
Ouch.
I left. I picked what was left of my pride, the little I gathered it together, put it in my pocket, and walked away. The walk of shame. I just went the walk of shame, and then eventually, after some months, I decided to try another attempt, and then we kind of got talking, and then it kind of organically developed, and eventually, where we are.
Were there any other attempts at a matchmaking with other girls?
Oh,
and by whom?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Or by whom, rather?
So this is the story, right?
Careful
I don't
now,
know.
people are watching.
Oh yeah. I know. But really, I don't know. As if my being a bachelor was blocking things for people. Because I'm serious. People desperately wanted me married. I don't know what I did wrong. But everybody wanted me married. And I was like wondering, what's the problem? I mean, like there are other people older than myself that are not married yet, And so, my dad, my mom, they've all had their attempts. My dad actually just took me to someone's house and said, hey, drive me there, and everything. And I drove him there, and then next thing, a girl comes out, greets him, and then him and the parents go to another part of the house, and then I'm left with this guy. We're chatting, we're supposed to become friends all of a sudden and know each other. And I wasn't sure what was happening. So when we now left, as soon as we were not even driven out of the gate, when my dad turned to me, I was like, what do you think about that lady? That girl is very beautiful. I was like, oh, really? So this was the whole idea of this trip. This is what this trip was all about, and everything. The one my mom did was even the funniest one. So this her friend, we call her Auntie Biba, She just came. They came to my office then. Came with this girl, just dropped her off, and said they're going to the market and they will be long. So when I close, I should just help them drop this girl at home. I was like, what's going on here? So I ended up just packing my stuff that I was working on and just interacting with the girl, chatting with her, gisting with her and all that, get to know her and all that kind of stuff. And in both cases, interesting ladies, but I wasn't ready, So eventually, I now said, okay, I'll take you home. I now took her home, dropped her off at home, then went back home. Then I met my mom at home. I'm like, I'm not supposed to be in the market. How did this happen? I'm already back home so early, And so they made attempts, there were several attempts, and somehow I escaped everything, and
do you think matchmaking is something parents should do for their kids? I mean, you have kids now. Would you do that?
Well, funny enough, right? It depends on the motive behind it. For me, I think I can do it. I don't think there's anything wrong if you say, you know what? you have maybe a boy or a daughter, you say, you know what, I think that boy is a really good boy, you know, as in, and just encourage her, and you should meet him, you know, try, just be open, or you know, or some certain kind of people might be coming around to see her when she's at that age.
Yeah.
I will be very civil and try not to bring out my gun, but but then actually, you know, as a man, you understand men, and like I always tell my wife, you raise the girls, I'll raise the boy, because you understand women, you understand their tricks.
Yeah.
If I did understand women and how they operate, I would have found you easier. You know, I don't understand how it works. So let me deal with the man and you deal with the woman in the house. So same thing. You see some boys come around your daughter, and being a man and understanding all our tricks. You can tell. You can tell the one with good intent, and you can encourage the girl and say, you know what, I think this boy, there might be something good here, you know, just go on a date with him, you know, just go have lunch or something, and definitely come back before 6. You know, so yeah.
I mean, so if you're watching and encourage your daughters. Paul is a really good.
Wait, so maybe it's not why you're still a bachelor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or we're not making enough effort to matchmaking you.
Yeah. So
Possible.
so we're talking about.
And I understand. I understand.
Right?
Don't change.
The two people beside you, are they single? Are they taking?
Oh, so like.
Are they in relationship?
So
We're gonna start the hookup process.
So final thoughts, right? From the book and everything, was there ever a moment that you felt like, you know, I had to document this in the book, you know, and why you had to do that?
Yeah, definitely. There are many moments like that, you know. And the truth about it is that at the end of the day, you know, when you're going to public service or anything you find yourself doing, but in this case, public service, you never will be even recognized for certain things. You would never be celebrated, and I'm not trying to find recognition, right? I'm not trying to find recognition or anything like that. I'm just trying to bring an experience for young people who are coming into politics to understand that there are times you're going to have to take certain positions, you're going to take certain risk, you know, for the greater good, for the interest of the general population you serve. So it's not, you know, we have this perception about public office like it's all fanfare and you know, and exactly job life,
signing bills,
you know, paraphernalia of office and all that kind of stuff. But it's beyond that. I've had to go to places, risk my life to resolve crisis that would have practically destroyed lots of life, property, you know, and put myself in that kind of position, you know, because I really wanted to help solve a problem, you know, and so
let me understand. Sorry, you're somebody's husband, somebody's father. You decide to risk your life. To save the lives and property. Was this?
Now
that
you put it this way, my wife is going to kill me.
But this is captured in the book, right?
Yeah, it's captured. Yeah,
okay.
You know, it's captured in the book, and some other experiences like that where it wasn't about, I mean, governance in the sense of the way we see it. You know, there are many things that happen at the back end. You know, I mean, sometimes just like you see crisis sometimes at the surface, but then at the back end, people are talking and trying to negotiate so that you can have an end to it. You know, so many things like that happen that people generally don't know about, but then that's the reality.
Man, thank you so much.
That and a lot is in the book, and if you get a copy and you read it, then you will actually see the details of it.
All right, so thank you, Mr. Tunde. Thank you for your time. You have read the book, so you're lucky. You know, you're not like us. We haven't even read the book yet. But thank you for your time and your insight.
Thank you so much. I think it's a fantastic story. I think it's a story that people need to read, and I think it's something that we should all do. We should all write our stories.
Wow.
So
that's so true.
It's a great read. Own your story, like the title says. You know, so thank you so much for the book.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Ine. You would have been halfway around the world by now because, you know, Akila travels.
I'm glad that I'm not actually halfway around the world, because it's really quite a very intriguing session and lots of lessons learned. The book is grown to own, so I'll encourage everyone, you have to grow first before you own your story, so you don't own any other person's story. So I'm looking forward to reading the book and also getting life lessons that will propel me forward in life. And you never can tell, I might write my own story soon enough.
You better. You better. Also, thank you so much, Miss Pamela.
It's been a pleasure being here.
Yes, I'm sure all your kids are missing you.
Yeah, but it was definitely worthwhile spending time here with Mr. Yaks. It's been an amazing session. I connect and resonate with a lot of stories that you told, even the part of people building, which is essentially what I'm trying to do with the young kids. So I'm really looking forward to reading the book and learning a lot of more lessons. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
And finally, thank you so much, Mr. Yaks. This has been an amazing time for everybody here.
Awesome.
Thank you for allowing us coming to your home. Thank you for allowing us to. Thank you for sharing this part of you with us. What do you have to say to people that are going to read this book? Finally.
Well, what I just want to say is this. You see, life is about experiences. Everyone has an experience.
Yeah.
Try to put your experience in a book. You don't know who you will be helping.
Yeah.
And writing is, you don't have to think about sophisticated writers and Jeffrey Archer and think, oh, I can't write that much and I'm not going to write. No, write in any way you can write. Somebody out there understands what you're trying to say, and somebody out there is waiting for that story that can change their lives. That's what I think it is. Personally, I think I've learned a lot from reading books. I love reading, and I've learned a lot from it. And I think many people are just looking for that book, that Ines book, that Pamela's book, that Paul's book, that we're not sure if they ever come, but Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. So thank you so much for being a part of this. You can find contents of this on myinstinct.com. You can find us on social media everywhere. Follow all the handles on the on display right now, and get the book. Share your thoughts about it on social media platforms, and we will be sure to respond. Stay safe. Now, after the show, it's the after party.
Hey!